Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is September the 9th, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Safe to say we got that lasagna on a Monday. I'm in a good mood. I'm in good spirits. So we love to see that. Let's see here. Yeah, not much to talk about work. It was pretty textbook. It feels like we are moving towards peak. Like, I know it's not quite there yet, but the work is just like, I'm noticing that's the work is definitely consistent. I'm not having as much downtime. Kind of makes sense. It's in September. What's the next month? October. And usually, we get sucker punched by peak right around October. Towards the middle end of October, everyone kind of realizes that it's like, oh, wow, we're really just cranking in a lot of orders. So yeah, it feels like we're about there. And, I feel good. There was a drama last week in terms of the switching of the trash and all that, trash bins into the Gaylords. But I feel like we got a good handle on it, I feel like I got a decent, maybe his assistant, maybe even. Well, we'll see. I'll definitely be keeping you posted there. Let's see. I realized last night that I didn't do food corner for Saturday night. So let's go ahead and try to do 2 food corners. Catch us up. So Saturday, like I said, I went out, did Morsel and Nosh. It was amazing. I got a Reuben sandwich and a grilled cheese with a jalapeno chips. And then I got some popcorn on the side because they had popcorn there. And I got to say, special note that they had cool little seasonings with weird, funky little names. And the seasonings were banging. The popcorn was good. The chips were amazing. I love kettle chips. I would still say I'm a St. Vicky stan. That's just the best kettle chip for me, jalapeno-wise. But this one, I don't want to say it took my breath away. But it was it was good. It was solid. The grilled cheese, I like when I open up a sandwich, a grilled cheese sandwich especially, and the cheese is just so much, it's just gooping out of every side, but the sandwich is still cut and pristine really well, nice. I knew I was in for a culinary experience. The Reuben was amazing. Perfect amount of meat to sauerkraut to dressing. I'm are these guys is it a lab in that place? I don't know what's going on back there in that kitchen, but they are cranking it out. I love them. They're amazing. Also they have cool little convenience store stuff up front too. I really do enjoy Morsel and Nosh. Really, really great restaurant, or delicatessen, I should say. Maybe my bad. Whatever. You know what I'm saying. Let's see here. Last night, let's get to last night, food corner edition. I had Korean fried chicken with rice. It was very yummy. It was very good. 2 egg rolls on the side. And, white rice. Yes. It was good. Sauced it out, so that was good. Really enjoyed it. I feel weird whenever I, miss one of my staple dishes. And I've kind of been doing that a little bit more now. I've kind of been missing the rotation due to busyness or whatever. But I find that at the same time, whenever I do get a chance to go back to that meal, it always makes me really enjoy it more. So that's nice, right? That's fun. Now we're all caught up. All the Joneses, all the food, they're all in order. Let's go ahead and do our startup, and we'll get into some news. Ooh. All right. First story comes from CNN. Venezuelan opposition leader Gonzales lands in Spain seeking asylum after disputed election. Venezuelan opposition leader Edmundo Gonzales landed in Madrid on Sunday afternoon, Spain said, after fleeing his home country with an arrest warrant accusing him of terrorism, conspiracy, and crimes related to July's disputed presidential election. Gonzales, his wife, and Spanish officials landed in Torrejón de Ardoz military air base, according to a statement from Spain's foreign ministry. He is now seeking asylum in Spain, CNN understands. I believe also his daughter lives in Spain as well. That might have been like one of the reasons why he picked that place. He also says that he's not giving up the fight. He still plans on fighting for an election that he says, and a lot of people say, obviously, that he rightfully won and that Maduro took from him. So yeah, I mean, this is an ongoing thing. Now, from the Maduro side, they say, hey, yes, we accused him of these things, and yes, we were going to arrest him, but we allowed him to leave because this was just in the sake of peace, and tranquility. We should we said, okay, it's fine, you can go to Spain, and they're okay with it. We're okay with it. So yeah, I mean, that's where we're at with it now. Let's see here. Also, there was a fun fact that I kind of learned when I was listening to the BBC. I think this was last week. But essentially Maduro has this thing whenever there's like crisis moments, like, shit's really hitting the fan, the vibes are super duper fucked, everyone's leaving, everyone kind of hates you. He has, he brings Christmas early. He literally makes Christmas come early. Which I think is a very cute, fun way to kind of just say, hey, like, I'm a dictator, but like, we like to have a little fun. Let's celebrate. Let's fast forward some things and bring the vibes early. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's hot as fuck. It's crazy out here, but let's settle down. Let's give some gifts. And it's like, motherfuckers are like, dog, what fucking ever. Like, okay. Because what can you do? But yeah, that was a very fun, interesting fact that I learned recently. About Maduro's, strategies coming out of office. So yeah, and then also, I not really an update or whatever, but I haven't heard anything from Maria Corina Machado. I have been just kind of listening, and I know that she's been making like almost like these rally pushes where like she'd like come out like out of the blue, and I mean, there's arrest warrants out on her and things of that nature. But, she was trying to rally the people, keep people, saying, hey, like, we got to keep fighting for this. We got to keep fighting for democracy, yada, yada, yada. But, I mean, currently she's kind of in the wind. I mean, I completely understand that. But, yeah, where we stand now, Gonzales looks like he's more or less in exile. I mean, I don't really know what any more recourses really there even were, because at the end of the day, Maduro said, no, actually, I won. I won with 51%. It's what me and my guys say. I mean, how you beating that? How you beating that logic? I know, like I said, we the U.S. took a plane, but it's like, okay, and like you're gonna keep sanctioning him, okay, and like he's not giving up Venezuela. He's just not. So yeah, but obviously I will keep you posted there on any other updates, any new happenings. Let's see. Let's go on to Kansas City. I wasn't expecting to talk Kansas City, nor was I expecting to talk about. I mean, I'm just going to say, I feel like this guy kind of hits furry levels with it. I mean, yes, you were talking mascot, yada, 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 but he's not a mascot. Like, this is a guy who's doing it for the clout. He's called the ChiefsAholic. And boy, howdy, he had a fun way of funding his Playboy, once again, I'm just going to say it, furry lifestyle. Kansas City, and I say this not to besmirch the furries, okay? All right? I do love you. I stand with you. By all means, do your thing. If you want to do your freaky thing in them suits, go off. And if you don't want to do anything freaky in those suits, because you pay a lot of good money in those suits, then also cool. You know what I mean? You can party and do whatever the fuck you want with them things. But this guy chose to do crime when he wasn't in the suit. But I'll get into it. Let's rap about it. A Kansas City Chiefs superfan will spend more than 17 years behind bars for his role in a string of bank robberies across multiple states. Xavier Michael Babudar, 30. Damn, he's kind of... I'm saying he's young now. That's because I'm 33, about to be 34. Who is well known for his online personality, ChiefsAholic, was sentenced to 210 months in prison without parole in Kansas City federal court Thursday morning, which amounts to 17 and a half years, according to federal court documents. I think he also has another charge in like Oklahoma Yeah, he pleaded guilty to one count of money laundering and one count of transporting stolen property across state lines in February, and also to a count of bank robbery in a separate case out of Oklahoma, prosecutors said. He was sentenced to 17 and a half years in the Oklahoma case and will serve both sentences concurrently. He also has to pay back $500,000 in restitution for his crimes. But let's see. I mean, the man stole about $850,000, if I'm not mistaken. But he is also ordered to forfeit any property involved in his money laundering activity, according to a statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Missouri, including an autographed painting of Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean, this dude was getting a lot of loot. He was making a lot of moves. He was doing a lot of crime. So, I mean, it's crazy that you were doing, like, sports in the daytime and, like, I don't know, true crime at night or whatever. You were just making it happen, or maybe vice versa the. Crazy that he flipped this whole fucking, like, I'm going to be a werewolf with a fanny pack and, like, turned it into a whole online persona and was getting, like, a lot of attention. And once again, like I said, the furry suits and shit, it's not cheap. The trips are not cheap, you know? The tickets, goddamn, are definitely not cheap. So, I mean, crazy how he had to rob Peter to pay Paul, I guess, in this situation, quite literally. But, I mean, boo this man. I'm definitely not into it. I mean, it's definitely interesting content, but, you know, definitely, I definitely get the idea of, like, you're over here robbing banks, and while it's like, oh, wow, crazy, cool. Like, I definitely realize that that's not a victimless crime in the sense of, like, you are traumatizing the people who are at that bank that day. If you actually are doing armed bank robbery, then, which in this situation he is, and I don't know if he's actually like, oh, it was loaded, not loaded, whatever. No one knows that. Like, at the end of the day, you see a gun, you now know you could die today. You can die in this moment. And this guy is just hassling you for fucking money, for fucking goddamn material bullshit. And, like, that's not something that you're just probably going to forget and walk away from. Like, I've definitely listened to a lot of, like, bank teller testimonials, and, like, you can understand that it's like, yeah, no, I was fucked after that. I was not the same person after this motherfucker hopped over the counter, pistol whipped me, put a gun in my face, whatever, you know, and then ran out. Like, no, nothing was the same for me after that. And I get that. That's not fucking cool. But it's just weird that, like, once again, he's doing these bank robberies. He's, like, on some Jesse James shit, low-key. But, like, people know him as the ChiefsAholic. The ChiefsAholic. Once again, guy, werewolf outfit, Kansas City Chiefs jersey on, fanny pack, and they're letting him hold the fucking trophy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you're letting this motherfucker hold the trophy? That's crazy. That's wild. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like this guy alone, I can't give him justice. Like, he deserves a limited series podcast, and you just go through the shit. Like, I really kind of hope that some motherfucker gets the deal from, like, I don't know, some studio group or whatever. You know, Spotify needs to fund that. You know what I mean? Not another fucking Skarsgård project, okay? I want to hear cool, fun little stories with details about this shit. Once again, not that it was actually fun. Fuck this guy. Let's see. Matthew Merriman, a lawyer for Babu Dar, said Thursday they achieved a fair and just outcome. I'm glad he feels that way. Even though I do feel like, once again, this guy kind of got away with it. With the amount of, like, robbing and shit that this guy was doing, like, he's getting away cherry. Let's see here. And the concurrent sentences. That's still something that kind of boggles me when they do that. Like, oh, technically, you should be doing, like, 36 years in jail or some shit, right? But, like, we're gonna run them at the same time. And it's like, that doesn't seem like what the law is. But once again, why am I even saying this? It's very hypocritical of me, because I'm really like, yeah, why are we burying people alive for shit? So, I don't know. The justice system is hard. It makes you want one thing when you know that you shouldn't even want that thing in the first place, because that's very, like, draconian, like, bad. But let's see here. Let me read a little bit further. I'm sorry. The sentence handed down reflects our unwavering commitment to reducing and mitigating the numerous charges and potential decades of imprisonment he faced. Which is kind of adding to my point. It's like, you know, it's like, yeah, it's good that he got off. It's good that he's getting off a little light here, you know? And Xavier extends his heartfelt thanks to his followers and fans, reassuring everyone that this is not the final chapter. He promises to howl again. Oh my God. I hope this lawyer got paid a lot of money, because that's crazy to issue the statement for your client. Like, no, man. Like, I wouldn't be doing that. I would definitely be the baggy, the baggy ass pants, fucking loose fitted tie, sweaty. Look, I'd be a public defender. I guarantee it, bro. I'm gonna do my best, but I mean, it is what it is. I would not be issuing that statement with a bunch of expletives. That's for fucking sure. Exclamation marks. I'm sorry. Let's see here. I definitely want to add this last part. He was released from jail in February 2023 and removed his ankle monitor the following month, and was a fugitive until authorities found him in July, when he was connected to a series of other bank robberies, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Western District of Missouri said. In July 2023, he was arrested again and accused of committing a string of robberies. So this is important, right? Because I've only mentioned the bank shit so far. But it was not just that, but also a string of robberies and credit unions across the Midwest before laundering his earnings at the Kansas City area casinos. Damn, he was damn good. Like, to me, as a middling level random ass guy, to at least come up with the idea of being like, I got to get all these money and ill-gotten gains, and I got to funnel it through just a little bit of gambling, and then I get my money back, and I kind of wash it out that way. That's very 101 shit, and it's like, that's pretty good. I'll give you a little credit for that. Don't do that though. They caught this motherfucker. It doesn't work. I'm just saying, like, kudos. You know, I respect the technique. Good for being sweaty, sweetie. But like, you got caught. You donezo. Don't do it. And depositing the proceeds in various bank accounts, the office said. In April, Babdar was ordered to pay $10.8 million to a bank teller who said he assaulted her with a gun during a December 2022 robbery in Oklahoma. The judge recommended Babudar serve time at FCI Greenville, a medium security prison in Greenville, Illinois. So that's why I felt it was important to read that very last part there, because yeah, bank robbery, whatever. Once again, you can keep saying victim's crime. Oh, yeah, I know. He fucked with the tellers. But, like, is it that bad? But, like, the idea that he's just robbing, like, going Point Break plus just does not feel good. It definitely is one of those things where the sum total of it all is like, no, this in no way, shape, or form is a Robin Hood story. This is a very selfish, vain individual who didn't give a fuck the whole way about anybody. He just wanted to fucking see the fucking Chiefs win the fucking Super Bowl, and he wanted to be there fucking with his furry suit on and ready to fuck. I don't know. But that was his story, and he was sticking to it. And yeah, I'm glad he got. I'll say it. Anyway, let's move on to another thing. Let's move on to another loser. I gotta talk about it. I gotta say it. I gotta be the first one to say it. All right. From CNN. Let me let this shit load. Maybe not. Okay, it already loaded. I just gotta scroll up. I'm stupid. From CNN. Big Lots files for bankruptcy. Big Lots, the beleaguered discount retailer that previously warned it had substantial doubt about its survival, had filed for bankruptcy. As part of its Chapter 11 filing, the retailer announced that private equity firm Nexus Capital Management is acquiring substantially all of Big Lots stores and business operations. During the process, its locations and websites will remain open for shopping. Now, I have heard of a lot of Big Lots going belly up, closing. So I had heard this on the horizon, but I didn't wind up reporting it until I kind of heard, okay, today, all right, they're definitely doing it. They're filing it. They're going through the process. Actually, kind of a bit of a side note, Red Lobster officially got the green light to do their bankruptcy. So that's officially a thing. I know we've talked about that previously. But I guess it's worth adding too that I need to always remind myself, and I guess maybe the audience, so I'm sure you guys are much smarter than me, you already know, that just because a place files for bankruptcy, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily shuttering the whole company and it's over. We're not coming back from this. Like, essentially, it's the spirit of we're filing this bankruptcy just like an individual would file a bankruptcy. We got to get past some debts. We got to get this shit resorted out and done. Maybe we do need to come over new ownership. Someone needs to maybe buy us out. Something needs to happen. We need to have some changes. The government needs to get involved and help us so that we can survive. That's essentially the way it is. And if we can't survive, then okay, chop us up, divvy us up, for parts and give it to the people who need it so that we can square our debts and everything's okay, hunky-dory. So I'm kind of talking about Big Lots and Red Lobster here because I was like reading the other day about how they hired a new CEO. And like something he did was he like secretly, like undercover boss style, like toured a bunch of like Red Lobsters and ate a bunch of food to like try to help like come up with like better ways to like improve the business, save the company. And I'm like, what do you mean save the company? You guys are filing for bankruptcy. You're cooked. But that's when I had to remember once again, it's bankruptcy. They're going to try to maybe save the company if they can. And maybe hiring this new CEO is going to do it. Even though I feel like this is one of those like glass cliff kind of hires. I hate to say it, it seems like a young black man, looks like he's made a lot of strides and made a lot of things happen, but like a lot of times they hire women, they hire minorities in these kind of situations, and they're like, yeah, you're going to save our company, aka it's like, you're going to be the face of our, open auction for this company, as once again, we scrap it out for parts. And you hate to see that, because once again, if a person's made all these strides, and then next thing you know, they're just being thrown to the fucking wolves. Like, what? That's not fair. That's not right. I mean, and I say this like at the end of the fucking day, a CEO's a CEO. You're getting your fucking bag to be a mascot for whatever the fucking happens. So you're Pagliacci. Oh, so sad. So sorry. Anyway, okay. We kind of riffed and we rabbled here, but yeah, Big Lots is not bank lots. They need money. They're broke. So the TDLR there. Let's go ahead and move on to our last story. Bit of condolences are incoming. So let's go ahead and do our last break, and we'll talk about a legend. Dare I say legendary father figure? All right, from The Independent. James Earl Jones' death, booming voice behind Darth Vader and Mufasa, dies age 93. So, R.I.P., man. James Earl Jones, the American actor known for voicing Darth Vader in the Star Wars franchise and Mufasa in The Lion King, has died at the age of 93. It was announced Monday. His cause of death was not immediately revealed, but Jones was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in the mid-90s, a fact he made public in 2016. In this article, he talks about how he learned he had diabetes. He was working out to start losing weight in the mid-90s and in the 90s, and in the process of losing weight, I think he was at the gym or something. And he was with his doctor. Maybe I guess he was a doctor friend type vibe. Whatever, cool. That's dope. But he was working out, and the next thing you know, he more or less passes out. He's falls asleep on a bench, and it's damn. And his doctor's damn, yeah, you should go get that looked at. That's diabetic signs. And it turns out he's yeah, he had diabetes. So it might have been related to that. But just gonna once again just kind of straight hit the riff here. Once again, a legendary man on Broadway, and then on the silver fucking screen, on any screen you saw this man on, whether it was for the whole movie or just a fucking cameo. This man was amazing. Was just took up the whole vibe, had an aura that was just so insane and commanding, but also just nice and pleasant. It's just crazy that he was just a person you felt like you just wanted to sit next to and just learn something from. I don't know. That's how I could just maybe make it in just a quick bit. But obviously, he was the voice of Darth Vader, which is insane. My favorite character in Star Wars. Yeah, I'll say it. That's right. I'm an Anakin fan. I'll fucking tell the world. But no, I mean, there are two parts of it. I like Anakin because he becomes Vader, and I love Vader. He was just the voice, and then, no, he didn't like have the body, like that was like a whole other person, but like you heard that voice and it was just, damn, you were scared. You know what I mean? And I've always loved Vader as that. And then as a child, Lion King, Mufasa, 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 Mufasa. Like, goddamn, like that death was maybe the first death that shook me as a child. You know what I mean? It prepped me for the world to be. It's like you gotta get used to that. Sadly, you gotta get ready to grow up. Sometimes it happens a lot sooner than you think. And crazy that James Earl Jones was able to teach me that via his voice in a lion character. You know what I mean? Like, just so commanding. And, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Coming to America. That's an amazing fucking role. It doesn't dawn on me that it's just like, oh, wow, like eventually he gets more and more roles as it goes, but he definitely like came up via the Broadway, and it's like, oh wow, like that's crazy. I didn't really like realize how he got his chops that way, but it makes sense that he's always been in so many Broadways throughout his life. But once again, just an amazing human being. Happy to be alive in the same time he has been alive. So I mean, just. This is to you, man. Obviously condolences to the family. But yeah, I had to talk about it. I literally just heard this before he went on, and I was like, yep, this is going to be the last thing we talk about for sure. But yeah, that's it. That's where I want to leave it for today. Let's see here. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/Isaiah News. Joining the Patreon also gets you newsy status. With that status, I do shout you out at the top of the month. Plug a project if you'd like. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials you're on. That's right, I'm on X, the Everything app, and more. Let's see here. YouTube. Please subscribe to YouTube. We're like in stasis at like 77, and I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm a humble podcaster, content creator. So like, I'm just happy to have my friends on, and they just listen to me every once in a while. Or shit. Sometimes y'all listen every day, and I really can't say how much that really like makes me happy, cry. So I really love you guys and appreciate that. But I'm always trying to get that number up. I gotta say that shit. I gotta push that shit. So yeah, hit that like button, leave a cool comment, all of that good stuff. Sharing is caring. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.